My siblings called to say they were selling our childhood home without asking me. They forgot Grandma signed over 50% ownership to me in 1998. My brother Vernon called on a Tuesday morning to tell me they were selling our childhood home, not asking. Helling. The realtor's coming Thursday to take photos. You need to clear out by month's end. I was in the kitchen making coffee. The same kitchen where I'd made breakfast every morning for the last 12 years while taking care of the house. Same cracked tile near the sink that I'd been meaning to replace. Same window overlooking the garden I'd spent hundreds of hours restoring. Vernon, I live here. Yeah, well, we all need to move on, Irene. Mom's been gone 3 years. The property taxes are killing us, and Dale and I aren't getting any younger. Beth agrees. The market's good right now. Beth. Of course, my sister sided with them. She visited maybe twice a year, always complained about the neighborhood going downhill, and never lifted a finger when the roof needed replacing or when the foundation cracked. You three decided this without talking to me? We're talking now. Look, we'll split it 4 ways after expenses. You'll probably clear $60,000. That's not nothing. 60 grand. For the house my grandmother built in 1952. The house where she raised 4 kids on a seamstress's salary after Grandpa died. The house I'd poured my savings into maintaining while my siblings sent occasional checks that barely covered utilities. Vernon had moved to Arizona 15 years ago for a tech job. Dale was in New Hampshire doing something with insurance. Beth bounced between boyfriends' apartments in the city. None of them had slept here since Mom's funeral, but here's what they forgot. After Vernon hung up, I walked to the basement, past the water heater I'd replaced 2 years ago, past the shelves holding Christmas decorations I still put up every year, even though nobody came home for the holidays anymore. In the back corner, behind boxes of Mom's old teaching supplies, was a metal filing cabinet, Mom's important papers. I'd been meaning to sort through it properly, but kept putting it off. I found what I was looking for in a worn manila folder marked Property 1998, a quitclaim deed, signed by my grandmother, Helen Kowalski, transferring 50% ownership of the property to me, recorded with the county clerk on March 14th, 1998. I was 19. I remembered that day now. Grandma had called me into the dining room, made tea, and slid the papers across the table. You're the one who'll stay, Irene, she'd said, stirring honey into her cup. Your brothers are already looking at the exits. Your sister thinks this neighborhood's beneath her, but you love this house. You've got your mother's roots. Grandma, this is too much. It's protection. Someday they'll want to sell everything and split it. When that day comes, you remember, you're not just some tenant in your own home. We never told anyone. Grandma died in 2003. The deed stayed in that folder, and I stayed in the house. Through my 20s, my 30s, now into my 40s. I'd never married, never had kids, but I'd had this place. These rooms I'd painted, this garden I'd built, this kitchen where I'd learned to make Grandma's pierogies. I called my lawyer, Patricia, the same one who'd handled Mom's estate. Irene, this is a valid deed. You own half the house. They can't sell without your consent. They don't know about it. Then I'd suggest informing them, quickly. I drafted a simple email to Vernon, CC'd Dale and Beth, regarding the proposed sale. I own 50% of the property per quitclaim deed dated March 14th, 1998. I do not consent to any sale. Documentation attached. Irene, I sent it at 2:17 p.m. and went outside to prune the roses Grandma had planted 60 years ago. My phone started ringing at 2:45 p.m. Vernon's number. I let it go to voicemail. Then Dale, then Beth, then Vernon again. The voicemails were predictable. Confusion, then anger. Vernon claimed Grandma wasn't in her right mind in 1998. Dale insisted we needed to talk this through like adults. Beth was crying that this was so typical of me to ruin everything. By Wednesday, Vernon had hired a lawyer. His lawyer called Patricia. Patricia called me. They're claiming the deed should be void because your grandmother had a duty to disclose it to your siblings. They're also suggesting you coerced an elderly woman. Grandma was 73 and sharp as ever. The county clerk notarized it. Public record. I know. They have no case. I told them that. Vernon's talking about family mediation. There's nothing to mediate. I'm not selling. Thursday morning, the realtor showed up anyway. I answered the door in my gardening gloves. I'm sorry, she said, looking genuinely uncomfortable. I got a call this morning that the listing's canceled. Ownership dispute? Something like that. The realtor left. I went back to my roses. Vernon called at 5:30 p.m. His voice was different. Tired. The lawyer says you're right. We can't force this. No, you can't. We need that money, Irene. You have money. You've got your tech salary and your house in Scottsdale. Dale's got his insurance business. Beth's got whatever Beth's got. What you don't have is this house. They didn't speak to me for 8 months after that. When Beth finally called, it was to ask if she could bring her new baby to visit. She wanted her daughter to see where she grew up. I said yes. I always kept the guest rooms ready just in case.